What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. The day after their home run earnings, there was some analysts that gave new ratings. I'm going to be talking about that. And as you can see on the price, the live ticker to my left, we are rallying fairly hard based on the actual earnings. And CPI data did come out. There's a whole mix of things I do want to cover, but I want to talk on more specifically why the $5 mark is so important, especially we did bounce off of that today. So I'm going to explain what that means for us as investors as well as SoFi. But before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, let's get right to it. So as you can see on the live ticker, we are currently up 6.5%. Huge day for SoFi. 25.2 million as far as volume, 51.1 that is the average, 6-month average, and 5.2 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just today alone. So clearly today is a very big day. You can even see on that intraday chart, we are rallying fairly hard. We are bouncing off of that very important point, that $5 mark. So I'm going to explain what that means and why that's so important. But first, I just want to give you some quick updates. So as usual, there was a little bit more manipulation. There's new analysts that gave ratings. Oppenheimer gave a price target of $9. They did cut it from 13, but at the end of the day, they still did give a outperform rating on that. So that's still fairly positive in my opinion. Then there was Credit Suisse, if I'm saying that correctly, neutral rating, and they gave a price target of $9.50. They did cut that from 15.5. So at the end of the day, two ratings that gave a fairly high upside, and you can see right here looking as far as the average target is 13.12. That's based on all of the ratings, which represents a 153% increase. So that is a very, very big day. Just want to go over quickly while I'm on here, social sentiment. It is very much positive. People are loving the earnings, and especially I did live stream that. I was very impressed on the things that were said and the progress that they're actually making. So I'm very excited about the future for SoFi. But getting back to it though, I just want to go back over here. So as well, keeping in line with giving you a good update before I get into that why $5 is very important, just want to give you a good update on short interest, because right now there is a lot of people that is under the impression SoFi is going to have a squeeze. The short score is currently 72.49, utilization is 100%, day by day change it is up 0.46%, which works out to be 1.68 million shares being additionally shorted today. So despite us rallying as much as we have today, there is a lot of shorts out there that are clearly not really optimistic about SoFi. So take that how you see that, and cost to borrow right now is actually going up. So that's a very good sign, especially considering usually cost to borrow and the short interest are a little bit more inverse. So the fact that cost to borrow is going up and short interest is going up, that definitely does show that there could be a squeeze that comes from that. And looking right now, short interest is actually still over that 20%, which in my opinion is still extremely high. But again, take that how you see that. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. But getting right to it, why is that $5 mark so important? Why do we typically bounce off of that with a lot of volume? And that is because of this. So hypothetically, there is that trading threshold, and that threshold is basically anything below $5 is considered a penny stock. I know it's kind of obscure and whatever it is, but still, a lot of institutions follow that rule. So whether they're managing a portfolio or a managed portfolio or whatever it is, they have to abide by that rule. So they cannot invest in a penny stock. That is one criteria that a lot of institutions do have. So if SoFi was actually to get below that $5 threshold, then most likely a lot of institutions would be forced to sell SoFi. So take that how you see that, especially more so BlackRock as well, and a lot of the big institutions that have a lot of ETFs and managed portfolio. And as well, I just want to quickly give you a good idea of this. Going back to Interactive Brokers, looking more so at the ownership for SoFi. And if you do like Interactive Brokers and like a lot of this content, definitely take a look and click on the link in the description below, or just in the comments as well. Pop over there, and it does have a lot of good information. But back to it though, you can see as far as the ownership breakdown, there's institutions that have 3.27 million shares overall, and strategic entities 193 million total shares. So overall, there is a lot of institutions that are investing in SoFi, the majority of which, if it does break below that $5 mark, more specifically the strategic entities, price, they would be forced to sell a lot of their positions, which again would cause a lot of downward selling pressure. So take that how you see that. This is why the $5 mark is a very important point. But luckily enough, we did have amazing earnings that we are bouncing off of that. So that's just, again, take that how you see that. We are doing fairly well, and hopefully, like I said, that is something for us to watch for. And just now you guys know that $5 mark and how important that is. Just want to give you a good update as well on the new round of 13Fs that came down the pipeline. So it does look like right here a lot of institutions haven't necessarily been buying as much as I would assume, but keep in mind all of this information is as of Q1 2022. So again, it's not the most up-to-date information, but it is the most specific up-to-date information. It does appear JP Morgan did cut roughly about 14% of their holding in SoFi, but you also have to realize that a lot of these institutions that have connections to Russia in one way or another, they are losing a lot of money. So to mitigate a lot of the risk, they are selling a lot of other stocks such as SoFi, Lucid, and whatever it might be as well, just to cut their losses and rebalance a little bit. So the fact that JP Morgan cut 14%, I don't see that as a big deal in my opinion. But with all that, just want to cap it off with some technical analysis. So right now I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. Looking at momentum, you can see number of buyers is up today. Clearly, again, going back to that sentiment, there's a lot of people that are very optimistic about the earnings from SoFi, and this is why they are investing. So momentum is very good today. Stochastic, you can see there is starting to have that deviation black line above the red, showing and insinuating a bullish trend, despite the CPI data that did come out, because it actually was a little bit higher than expected. RSI is at 34 as well, which is really low. And looking on the actual chart, we did have, like I said, that sell-off that took us outside the Bollinger Band. 9 times out of 10, unless there's a justifiable cause, we don't stay outside the Bollinger Band. So this is kind of what caused that nice little bounce as well. So overall though, it does look fairly optimistic that something is starting to form, whether it be a full-on reversal or if it's just a temporary kind of going to $6 or something like that. But like I said, there's a lot of optimism that is circulating for SoFi specifically largely because of the earnings. So I'm excited about SoFi, as I'm sure you are as well. But if you haven't already hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, greatly appreciate that. Let me know also in the comments below what you think about SoFi. If you've been buying, selling, holding, whatever it might be, let me know. And also, if you do like my channel and want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.